A developing story we are following right now on Capitol Hill. That was House Oversight Committee Chair, Kentucky Republican James Comer. The deposition of former Attorney General Bill Barr, who was AG when convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein died in a prison cell by what was then ruled a suicide. Barr answering a series of questions this morning in the first bipartisan inquiry, which includes a push to release the full unredacted files of the convicted sex offender and one-time Trump associate. Joining me now is Emily Brooks from our partners at thehill.com. Emily, we are hearing the former AG may have left this committee with more questions than answers.
Yes, he did leave. He did not answer really many questions from reporters as he was leaving, but Democrats who were present for the first part of the deposition, including Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas, said that they are looking to bring in more additional, perhaps, witnesses. She mentioned Alex Acosta, the former labor secretary under Trump, who was the prosecutor who did the deal for Epstein's first conviction back in 2008. That was so highly criticized. And now Chairman James Comer opening the door to potentially more investigation. He did not rule that out. But Bill Barr is only the first of many former federal officials who were subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee amid all of this Epstein furor after the Department of Justice said that they would not release any more information about this. So he is the first to come in for this deposition. There were several more scheduled in the coming months.
All right, so Emily, is there now the thought that the rest of this testimony could end kind of how today's ended, with more questions than answers?
Yeah, there are always more questions at the end of these depositions, usually when they end, so certainly could lead to other lines of inquiry. But aside from this deposition and testimony to the committee, one thing that a lot of people have their eye on is a deadline for the Department of Justice to turn over what was a subpoena for what was the complete unredacted Epstein files from the Department of Justice to the Oversight Committee. That deadline is tomorrow, but Chairman Comer said, you know, this is a lot of materials, a lot of papers that they have to go through, kind of opening the door for that to be delayed. So we'll see what happens on that deadline tomorrow.
And just, Emily, talk more about the fact that this is a bipartisan effort at a time when we do not see a lot of bipartisan cooperation in Washington.
Yeah, I think that, you know, when the Department of Justice and FBI did say that they weren't releasing any more information on this case, that did come up with a lot of outrage from Republicans as well as Democrats. And you saw that on the congressional side really bubble up most in the House Oversight Committee. The Democrats on that panel led a motion to subpoena the Department of Justice for more information. And then Republicans answered with another motion for a subpoena to bring in Bill Barr, former President Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, other former attorneys general, to really, you know, have a big, what is turning out to be a pretty big comprehensive investigation into this that I don't think many people in Congress expected that they would be doing a couple of months ago.
And last question for you, Emily. I mean, is there any indication that those files will be released? Because it certainly has yet to happen.
You know, they have been subpoenaed, so if they are not released, if nothing is transported to the committee, I'm sure Jasmine Crockett did indicate that perhaps Democrats would look into some legal challenges there. Now, what can legally be released and disclosed to the committee? I'm sure that there would be questions about that, and it is a lot of material. I mean, you have seen also the Department of Justice go to the courts and seek to unseal more testimony and records from the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell cases that have been denied. And so you have concerns about implicating people in this investigation who might be named but are not going to be prosecuted, and there's not really proof that they were involved in wrongdoing. There's a lot of legal issues there.
Still a lot to unfold here. All right, Emily Brooks, live for us there in Washington. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.